kind of cool for HUD elements. It'll just make it more opaque when you're looking at something. The text isn't as bright. Now we get to paranoia, which is the auditory hallucinations you can play with. You can disable them in the shelter. Um, I left it on because that was the creepiest thing when I was in my shelter and all of a sudden I could hear footsteps. I was like, what is going on? So probability for foot step chance, gunshot chance, voice lines, flyby, gunshot crack, minimum foot. Wow, that's crazy. Holy moly. That's a lot of fiddling for footsteps. Anyways, okay, then we got rig and belt storage. So this is kind of this is one that people might want to get into and adjust because this is where, so right now the way we have it set up, the rig will only take magazines, grenades, and medical and ammo. The belt will only take grenades, medical, and ammo. If I turn these all off, I can put anything in there. So if you use this mod and you want to be able to put anything and everything in your rig or your belt and use it as consumables, you have to turn these all off. Otherwise, right now, it's restricted to magazines, grenades, medical, and ammo. I'm going to turn ammo off in the rig because I can put it in my belt. So I'll restrict it from being able to put it in my rig, and I can only carry it in my belt or my backpack. I haven't messed with all the tier values and what these colors change or anything, but okay, better enemy loot. This is supposed to add more loot to the dead AI, and I think even AI that you kill, or they're more likely to drop loot that you would expect them to have. So like when you'll loot magazines because usually in vanilla you'll kill an AI and usually they don't even have anything on them, and then you just loot their gun off the ground. They don't carry mags and ammo and things like that. So like now they're supposed to carry things like that, or you're more likely to find mags for the gun that they're carrying and stuff like that. Plus, we'll see like guns with attachments and things. Hold breath is pretty self-explanatory. You can hold your breath while you're ADSing. It defaults to shift. I use alt. Um, slow movement. This is another one that a lot of these mods will default to alt. Even Oldman's Immersive has the ADS zoom is defaulted to alt. I don't use ADS zoom. I turn that off. But it's defaulted to alt too. So right there, you just read three different mods that are trying to use the alt key. So you're going to have to change that. So I disabled ADS zoom, so it shouldn't matter if this is set to alt. But then if we go to hold breath, I set it to alt instead of shift. So now if I go to slow movement, which is defaulted to alt, I use Z. And then we go to trader improvement. This is where we're supposed to have like a little better stuff. And then I think the big thing with trader improvements is the tasks. They add more tasks and stuff to the game, which I didn't know at first. So personally, I'm going to start using it. XP and skill system. This is like the Tarkov skill system basically. So you get you're going to earn points to put into these skills. So you have vitality, endurance, pack mule, hunger, hunger resist, thirst resist, iron will, regeneration, cold resistance, stealth, recoil, so on and so forth. You can change. So right now they're all enabled. So I guess if you didn't want to put points into something or what you didn't want pack mule as a skill, you could just turn it off. You got the books turned off? Man, that's like the coolest part of this mod. I'm turning it on. What this means, enable skill books. You can loot books in the world, and when you read them, it gives you an it like automatically gives you a point towards that skill. It's like Skyrim. It reminds me of Skyrim. Like you'd find a book and like read it and or a spell and you like learn it. And I just I love finding those things and looting them. So I'm gonna turn that back on. It might be off by default. I mean it. I guess it is on by default. All right, anyways, immersive ammo check. This is the other one that tells you instead of just giving you a number of like you have 13 rounds in your mag, it says half full, partially full, so on and so forth. These are the labels. I'm curious how that works myself because I might start using this just to change the color of the text, but quick item slots is the hotkey. I don't want to confuse it with the other hotkey mod, but which isn't even in here. I thought that was in here. I don't remember if there was, I don't think there was an MCM for it. But this allows you to assign a key to a slot or assign a key to an item. So if you want to consume your bandage, you can, I've been using P and O a lot. So I can assign it to the P key and you hit P and you use the consumable. Quick stack and sort, that was pretty basic. Sorting, I'm gonna have to change that because it's 7 by default or Z by default, and I already assigned Z to my slow movement, so we're just gonna change that to whatever, F8. So if I hit F8, it should auto sort. Sorts the hovered grid. Okay, we'll play with that. I got a lot of these are new to me, so I'll be learning like kind of how to use these mods. So search loot is like the Tarkov thing where it'll you gotta wait to see what you're actually looting. By default, it's 2 seconds. He turned it down to 1 second. I played with it at half a second. And then reticle switcher is pretty standard, self-explanatory, that just changes the reticle and you can change the color. So it defaults to O, and then the color is keypad Z, and then brightness modifier is Alt. I don't really know. I couldn't really tell that did anything, but it won't let me use an F key. I'll try 8. Okay, then there was something else I wanted to. We'll just roll with that. I was gonna check, yeah. I was looking for that other mod. Am I crazy? Did you not put, am I just thinking of my game? Maybe you didn't have it. Oh, you don't have it. That was my other video, I think, or my other. There's another hotkey mod. Yeah, inventory hotkeys. Okay, so this is going to be a little confusing because they don't have they don't have an it doesn't have an MCM. So if you don't know what the hotkeys are, you're kind of screwed. That's when I was talking about. I think I'm going to make a suggestion that uh, it's in the tooltip.
I'm broadcasting this now because this is probably my last opportunity before it all ends tomorrow. The events that happened here in Finland have been all over the news, but I'm afraid nobody will ever know the truth. The real truth is impossible to understand unless you were here, in Area 05, southeast Finland, where it all began. Before I tell you what actually happened, you first have to understand Finland as a country and how this even started. For over 70 years, we maintained our neutrality. In doing so, we created a 1,340-kilometer neutral shield between the west and the east. This shield is a border zone that runs from the Arctic in the north to the Gulf of Finland in the south. The word shield is important. A shield is a defensive tool. It should never be used as a weapon. After maintaining the shield for all these years, we were forced to join a military alliance. We were forced into a position where our role was eventually determined by those who seek power, not peace. The first years were easy. While we never lowered our guard, it seemed that nothing had really changed. However, once enough time passes, we accept the illusion of safety. We wrap ourselves in the mindset that we are in control of our own future. But we were just a tool for a bigger plan. This plan revealed itself relatively quickly when a global military initiative was started. This former shield slowly lost its meaning and was transformed into a sword whose purpose no longer relied on defense. Building a massive sword near this border zone is an action that has consequences. We knew this the moment the initiative started. But were there any other options? I don't think so. This initiative brought billions of dollars and thousands of jobs to a country seeking economic growth. On top of the economic impacts, if all your northern allies have accepted the same plan and the same benefits, you don't want to be the black sheep, the only one who says no. However, the other northern countries are relatively far and safe behind this former shield. Finland is not. So, what really happened here? As you might have guessed, it was one of those beautiful midsummer nights when a large